All right, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and this morning during my Saturday morning 9 a.m. Central, in this case, board game stream, I'm going to be showing you the expansion to one of my favorite board games ever, actually, Takenoko. Let me just check the sounds right quick. Testing 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So yeah, Takenoko. This is a board game that came out a long time ago. And you see it got the Golden Geek Award for 2012. So yeah, over 10 years ago. But it's still one of my faves. So why is that? And why am I showing it to you? One is because I finally got the Chibis expansion that you see down here. I just want to show you the core game by comparison because you actually do need the core game to play the expansion. If new to the board game space, that's what an expansion means. It means it's an addition to the existing game which you also need to play. There are some games like Catan that use the word extension, which just means it adds more components but not more actual new game stuff to do in the game. But typically in any lines they use the word expansion. It just means you're adding stuff to the core game. But why is it one of my favorite games? There's a lot of reasons, and you can see, and these are the same reasons why it won the award and why it's so beloved, is because one is the art. It's got this really just cute art that's family friendly, that's kind of realistic, kind of iconic. It just really, cartoony. I'll say that's the art style. It also has, and that's what I'm going to show you, open this up for you. It's got cool art. It's really, it's got a cool cartoon for how it tells you just the core of why you're playing the game, what it's all about, which in a nutshell is you're this gardener trying to maintain this Japanese garden, but at the same time you have this panda running around messing up your garden. It's like, well, that's not cool, so we gotta tend to the garden. But it has also like really great production value. Like these are the player boards, and you do stuff, and this almost graphically just tells you what to do without using the words at all, which is, as you know, a huge fan of mine because I hate reading upside down. It's honestly a bad design to do so, which is one of my main critiques about Magic. I'm sure you hear me say time to time, including today. And you see, it just has really cool components. These are actually wood. You have painted miniatures. I know this turned to an unboxing of both games, but I just really, in order to sell you on this, I had to show what the core game is. And one of the things that's not going to be in the expansion that doesn't add to is one of the coolest parts of this game is the bamboo trees that you're tending. These are wooden pieces, but they stack to make a bamboo shoot, which is pretty cool. And so when you grow it, it would go up, and when you eat it with a panda, for example, it would go down. I just thought it was real cool, so I just wanted to give you context. But yes, technically, I guess this could be an unboxing of the core game as well. And then you also have your tiles. That's where you place all of the different bamboo shoots. These is how you determine player actions. Each player has a different symbol, and you can do basically 2 actions and a free action every turn. The free action is determined by this dice, which is a weather die. Different weather symbols give you different things. You can purchase upgrades to plots to do different things. That's what these tokens are, without getting into the weeds. Pun intended. These are irrigation tiles, and again, all these components are wood, other than the cards. So that you can, you have a plot, without getting into how to play, has to be irrigated in order to grow bamboo. And then why are you growing bamboo? Because you're trying to complete objectives. These are the objective cards. And for example, like if you eat multiple different types of food, you get points. Or stuff like if there's 3 plots that are a certain way and irrigated, and also ones that if you have different combinations of bamboo that's out. For example, 4 bamboo shoots. So yeah, I guess I will update this to show you a box of both. I just want to provide context. Like, this is an awesome game. It just, without knowing how the game plays, really cool components. Why, just go a brief, another tangent before I get to this. Why I like the game is because it's very easy to learn, but very complicated on how to have a winning strategy. And that's why I really like it. So it has great ease of use. Like, this is basically what you do in the game. Pick 2, pick 1. And then you can accumulate stuff. If you match a card, that's how you get points. That is the game. But the strategy of how do you irrigate, when do you play cards, where do you move based on what the opponent's doing, that's what adds the complexity to the game. Cool. Well, that is Takenoko core game in a nutshell as far as the unboxing. Now let me show you what you get to add on to this with Takenoko Chibis, which is, you can see from the art, it adds the panda's family. You have his, I'll say the mommy panda, and then it also introduces little baby pandas. But that's just like, as far as flavor, what it adds to the game, what actually adds to the game is what you see here in the back of the box. It's adding more tiles, more cards, and the Miss Panda, what adds to the game. So it's adding more objectives, more ways to score those objectives in the game. Mechanically is what it's adding. And there aren't many games nowadays that have painted miniatures. Like, that's what I really liked about this. Has the same quality of a painted and the type of plastic used to make the miniature, like Betrayal House on the Hill, which is pretty cool. Whereas there's also painted miniatures, like, for example, with Star Wars Armada, but you can tell that it's a different type of plastic. It's a harder plastic, and this looks like it's a softer plastic. It's based on the feel. But yeah, painted miniatures, it just looks cool. And you can play it right out of the box. You don't have to paint something. All right. I really like the feel of this box too. It's got like this matte finish, which is what you typically feel. It's like, I love the feel of new components. Oh, I love feeling my games. Yeah. And it's small, again, because you're just adding stuff to the game. All right, so let's show what is in this. Let me get this, make sure this is in frame. All right. So on the top here, we have another cartoon, which is cool. I'll definitely show that. So one thing I'll say is bad design is that there wasn't something, let me see, is that true? Let me see what happened. Like, the bottom of this is bent, which is bad, right? And I'm trying to see how they could have prevented that in the future. It looks like the problem here is they had this piece be a little longer than it should have been. If this piece was just a little bit shorter so that it actually fit behind this cardboard piece, it would have protected it from bending. But because for some reason they had it this long, it bent down, and then you have all this weight on the paper. So honestly, it's a bad design as far as packing. Boo, sad face. To what feels like one of, like, just standalone and amazing quality, how it's produced. This was a bad idea. But anyway, beyond that, looks like you have this cool cartoon introducing something new to the game, which I'll go into that. And then it has new rules, what it adds. Oh, it actually does add new bamboo sections. I was wondering. So you get all sorts of components in the game, as well as 9 baby panda tokens. All right, cool. This shows how to play, new objectives, new plots. So I normally don't mix how to play with an unboxing video, but because I'm going this whole tangent on why you should get the game and why you should get the expansion, I will go into and read and at least go into the rules here on how to play. So I will update the stream on before it hits YouTube. All right, so what else do you got? You have, let's see, are these all tiles here? Yeah. So these are all the new tiles and tokens it's adding to the game. And you see the art style is very detailed, but iconic, but then also cutesy. It's like I just really like the style. All right. Make sure this is still in frame. It is not. Let me move this for time being. All right. Better. Check it. Cool. It's Takenoko TV. It is cute. I would have to agree. Cute stuff. All right, here is Miss Panda. Little Panda. You know, she's got a little dress on. Just outside, you know, just meandering in the garden. That's it. Like, it's like component-wise, it's just so cool. That's what makes me think something like Wingspan. It just has cool components, regardless of how the game plays. Which, honestly, I've played Wingspan. I think the game kind of plays kind of me. Cause it's kind of like people playing solitaire against each other, and it's kind of like, there's not much talent between the mechanics and what you're actually doing for like a stork, but it has really cool components, really cool production value, and that's what this guy's going for as well, besides being actually a good game. All right, so here are the cards. Let me open the cards here. I'm just not on the Wingspan train. All right. So far, yeah, I'm loving everything I see here. Like I said, my only critique is why they made this piece a little longer than it should have been. It should have been a little bit shorter than the cardboard, shorter than the punch. That way the punch can protect it. You can put it in between or behind it. Would be my 2 cents there. I cannot get this open. Get this open. And you see that I'm getting all the components out of the plastic containers and shit. But you can see they have another vac tray to actually store all of your expansion pieces. Like, I'm sure there may be a way for you to just put in here as well, because I think there's room to fit, which we can test here today. But there's also, you could fit here in the vac tray. And because they have these little wells, stuff isn't going to fly around because it's so tight. Yeah, this expansion came out a long time ago. It's not like it recently came out. I just recently finally obtained it. I was like, hey, you know what? It is one of my favorite games. Why not see what it's all about? So here we are. All right, so here are the cards. And there's different types of cards in the game, like they have different types of objectives. Like you have location objectives, panda objectives, and gardener objectives, which I will show as of course. And you can also tell on the front if it's gardener or location or panda or location based on is there a symbol in the front also. And then typical on this, what is what you see is the objective. What's in the bottom left, that's the score. And if there's ever something in the upper right, that's a requirement in addition to what you see. So I'll just show these to you and flip through. Like I said, I love the fact that there's no fucking words. You can look at this quickly and know what you have to do. No descriptive. If someone's playing the card in front of you, you can easily see what's going on. The only thing you have to read upside down is one number, which is a lot better than having a whole bunch of ability text like a magic card or something. So it's I am a fan. You see these bamboo shoots have those tops to them, so it's the new type of bamboo, it looks like. With the oh, and what does this have in the upper right? Oh, it's showing a pond, so this has to be... What this is saying is there's 2 ponds, or this is near the core where you originally start. These have to be placed near the lake, the original area, not what you expand on. Is what I'm reading that as. It could be wrong, but I believe that's what it's saying. You need to complete this with this happening. For example. But since that's a new rule, I'm sure it'll be explained in the rule book here as well. Unless that symbol just means a certain type of plot. But it looks like the original plot, which was a lake. A little pond. We will take a look. And then what I've also noticed is the symbol for the expansion is this little flower. So if you want to take the expansion cards out after the fact, you can dig through these to find all the expansion cards. Obviously, you don't want the expansion symbol on the back because that'd be a tell, because it's a deck of cards you're pulling from. But if you do it front face, you can say, oh, anything with a flower, you can pull that out. So these are all, again, the objective cards, how you score points in the game. And based on number of players, there's different max... well, it's not max score. It's depending on number of players, you have to have that many scoring cards to trigger the final round. And then after that last round, whoever has the highest total points wins. And that is all of the cards that the expansion adds. Here again is Miss Panda. Miss Panda. Hi. I'm Miss Panda. All right. And then lastly, components, we have new bamboo shoots. And I didn't think it would add this to the game. Like, I thought it would just punch in cards, but it adds just a little bit of everything to the game. So I'm not going to dig these out. You can see what it is just because there's a lot of them. But you get new tops and bottoms for all 3 colors with the painted marks on the bamboo shoot, which means it's a certain type of expansion tile. That probably has a certain type of gameplay function. All right, so that's all the components in the game. Now I said as an added treat, I'll just peruse through the rule set to see what it adds and show you that cartoon. Because like I said, the rules in this game were, well, let me see here. I'll tell you what. I'll show each page so you can pause it and look at it, but I'm not going to go through all the minutiae of the rules here. I'll just summarize, but show you in detail the cartoon in the front. All right. So here's the cartoon, and I'll see how much I can zoom in. A second panda? You have done a great job with the bamboo plantation and its occupant. See this newcomer as a friend. This is the gardener talking to the emperor, by the way. Very well, Your Majesty. Thank you. In reality, 1 or 2 pandas does not change much for me. Let us not let this noble animal linger. Following a magnificent springtime, so, Master Gardener, is all well? Your Majesty had forgot to specify exactly what this new panda was. Yeah, it's a girly girl. A female. One detail that I forgot to mention, you are correct. Indeed. It is even better, right? After all, one panda lacked only a female. So let me try that again. After all, our panda lacked only a female, so to fully appreciate this peaceful haven. A peaceful haven, to be sure. Hey, look at the picture. There are now many pandas running amok. So it says the mamas and the papas. Panda mating season runs from March to May, and whilst in captivity, the food is always within each reach. The male panda gets used to doing the least amount of effort, and as such, it affects his interest in doing much of anything. Fortunately, during this period of time, the female panda loses her appetite and develops her vocal calls in order to capture the male's heart. Generally, pandas have only a single offspring once every 1.5 to 2 years. However, there are always exceptions. Taking care of one baby is hard enough. Just imagine 9. That's cool. Cool factoid to learn more about pandas in the game. Pretty cool. All right, so expansion rules. It adds new plot tiles, new objective cards, which are identified by that flower icon, which I pointed out. A new figurine Miss Panda, and baby pandas, which are those tokens. So these are all the things it adds graphically. And this shows below here how to prepare the game with the expansion. This has cool, I have to say also, cool art on the sides. But another thing that I'm not a fan of in any game ever is, again, the orientation of reading words. Having to read on the side. I understand they did that to save space and show like box art. But I hate reading shit sideways. That's me. All right, so this shows here how you play Miss Panda. It looks like Miss Panda isn't always in game. She comes into play later. It looks like the panda doesn't eat, but can bring other pandas into the game. So again, I'll also show you the rules, that way you can read for it yourself. And over here, it's how you play baby pandas, of which there are 9 max. That's why I made that little blurb about the 9. And it also adds a couple variants to the game. It looks like at the bottom here. They can play so that the panda cannot eat the bamboo's first shoots, only the upper sections. So that you can't fully destroy what someone already originally placed, which in the core game you can eat anything that's there. And then also diversity at the end of the game. Each set of different objectives scores points, earns additional 3. So if you have one of each type and not just gunning, like for all panda because you're eating so much, scores more points too, probably because it's a layer of difficulty. But again, these are variants. You don't have to play with these rules. Just like the expansion, you don't have to play with it. Then it adds new objectives. And this goes into the description on how different types, what they mean when you see it graphically. So these, I'll zoom in just so you can see it. So it's basically telling you how to read those plots, what it means. So whenever you see that configuration or icon, you know what it means. And this just shows the new plots. And then it shows here how you play with new plots, if there's any different rules. And clarifying some rules from the base game. These new plots that you see with that statue dude is called a Sacred Hill, which have certain rules you can see at the bottom. And then on the last side, we have, okay, so that symbol is the celestial pond. So when you see that symbol, which is probably combined, again, with either the, show you the rules real quick, celestial pond. You also have the gardener's cabin. And credits. Cool. Well, that is everything. Takenoko against Takenoko Chibis. It's expansion. You need the core game to play. Really family friendly. And it's definitely, like I said, also a gateway game because it's easy to play. But there's strategy when you get later on how to score points. Really awesome components, which is one of my favorite things about the game. And I believe the expansion is only like $15 or something. Like, it just adding some components, so it's not going to bust your wallet either. I just want to end with showing you all the plastic pieces together. And of course, if you like what you see, be sure to comment and follow here on twitch.tv/Ismortah. And you can see the stream the following day on YouTube at Shadow Balance Games. Here's the crew of Takenoko. Thanks for watching. Again, this is Ismortah, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Bye. Bye.